Hi everybody, this is Denise with Purple Paper Paradise again, and this is the second video for the Back to School eCraft blog hop. And in the previous video I showed you how I took these single layer designs from Lettering Delights and I made it a multi-layer design with 3 different colors in it. And now I'm going to show you how to use the Conical Warp feature. I'm going to go ahead and just click out of that real quick. Now, one of the things is when you use the Conical Warp feature is everything that you warp at the same time is going to get joined. So if I do this and I have my 3 different colors and I go to Conical Warp and I go ahead and I put in my tumbler presets here that I made, I'm not going to import the cone so you can see better. But here's what happens. Everything becomes one layer. I cannot split this or do anything with it to like make it work for me and what exactly I want to do. It all gets joined, and you can even see where like the glue bottle has like these little tiny, you know, it's not something that's going to work well for doing multicolor on a tumbler. So I'm going to go ahead and undo this and go back to our original file and show you how I get around this so that I can do 3 layers. Here's another problem. Like if I just took this green layer and I warp it, and then I took the black layer and warped it, because they are different sizes, they're going to warp differently, and that's why they wouldn't work to do it that way, because they're not going to line up just right for you. So here's what I'm going to do. If I've got everything selected and I've got my width is just under 6 inches and my height is just under 4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my basic shapes and I'm going to bring in a rectangle. And I am going to, with my lock proportion off, is I'm going to size this to 6 inches wide by 4 inches high. And now I'm going to place this directly over my design. I want to make sure that I've got everything, every part of my design is there, and I'm actually going to put this on its own layer for right now and move it down so you can see it better. But there we can see that everything is within this rectangle shape. Now, because the size of my file, I went ahead and I'm using the larger mat for now. I can change that later, but the reason why I've got the larger mat on is because I need to select all of this and I need to duplicate it so that I have a total of 3 of these, so that I have 1 for each color. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to duplicate and 3 duplicates and say OK. And as you can see that it goes down below the 12-inch mark here, so that's why I needed to move up to the larger mat size, because the duplicate feature will not go off of the mat. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go to each box and I'm going to delete some of the colors. So if I'm keeping the black layer in this box, I'm going to remove this green layer and I'm going to remove the white layer. And then on this one I'm going to remove the green and I'm going to remove the black. And so that means that I need to keep the green down here. So we're going to move the black and the white. So now I've got 1 rectangle with each of my 3 colors in it. Now because they're all exactly the same size, because of this rectangle, they are going to warp the same way. And let me show you what happens here, because it's a little different than what you may be used to seeing. But I'm going to go ahead and select this first rectangle. We're going to go to our Conical Warp feature, and it automatically brings in the last settings that you have. And I'm not going to be importing the cone. The cone means that it's going to bring in a whole shape like this that would completely cover my tumbler, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and select import. And now you'll see that it is sized to all 1 layer. And what I will do when I go to weed this is, instead of pulling out these clear areas or these transparent areas like it shows here on my screen, is I'm going to weed out the green areas so that I'm leaving the negative image of vinyl for actual cutting. And I'm going to go ahead and move this to its own layer and hide it so that we can go ahead and do the other layers. And same presets there. Go ahead and import. Oh, and that put that on that hidden layer too. So I guess if you wanted to have these all on one layer, you could do it like this, but if you wanted them separate, you need to create a new layer and make sure that layer is selected before you do your conical warp. So, oh, I hit the wrong button. Pardon me. There we go. And so now I have all three of my layers. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and open up this other layer, and I'm going to put these on its separate layers because I want to show you how these stack. Then I'm going to change the color on these so that they're all different colors, and then we're going to go ahead and stack them so that and actually let me move this one all the way to the top because it's the lightest color. So now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to do a right mouse click, align and space, align, stack. So now you can see when I go to cut this out that all of these colors are going to not only work together because they were all warped at the same exact measurement, but I can get all three of my layers on there really nice and easy. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of this cut out, and then I'm going to show you how I apply my vinyl to the tumbler and to the paint can. Thanks everybody.